Hey guys, it's me Orangeberry, and Divine Knockout on December 20th is releasing another patch update that is going to consist of a lot of balance changes as well as buffs and nerfs for characters. We're also going to get some awesome news on Zeus, when he's going to arrive, what's going on with him, if he's going to even arrive this week, as well as the Spirit Shrine update with this whole new map for the 3v3 mode. By the way guys, let me tell you right now, they're buffing one of the best characters in the game and I'm super happy about it. He's one of my favorite characters, so stay tuned for that as well. We're going to go through everything in the patch as well as the statement they released telling us what's going on behind the scenes. So the Divine Knockout crew released a statement telling us right now that initially they wanted to release the whole patch today, December 20th, but due to some issues they found while trying to release this, they needed to roll back some features so they can fix it before releasing it, which is very good. You don't want to release something that's fully broken, right? Okay, another thing to note is that they said at late we'll get every feature in this patch by January, but one of the main things they wanted to focus on and ensure that it was released in this patch was the fact that we are going to get the balance changes for characters. So a lot of the god changes you hear me read out are probably going to be implemented today, which I'm super hype about. Now I'm hoping as well we get Zeus today, but I'm not 100% sure. I really want him when they finish doing this patch. Right now as recording this is when this patch literally released, and I decided, you know what, let's make a video. So let's get straight into what's going on in this patch so you can have a great overview and rundown on what to expect in this week or the coming weeks. Now you're probably wondering to yourself, why is this update called the Spirit Shrine update? Well, I'm going to tell you, and it's very simple. It's because they're adding a new map called the Spirit Shrine. So let me give you a brief description of it. So it states here that our first Japanese arena is called the Spirit Shrine. This shrine functions as a fishing village, which is home to many wandering spirits. Take a step onto the nearby boat, fight around the central bell, and watch out for the mighty Umobozu as the tides occasionally rise and try to wash you away. Now let me tell you right now, that's one of my favorite features about Divine Knockout, that it's not just about fighting your opponents and watching their skills, but in the game you have to really pay attention to your surroundings. It adds so much excitement for me as a gamer. Now I want them to be able to add features like this as well in terms of these kind of maps to 1v1 mode. It would be really awesome. Now let's continue on here with another major update called the God Cost. So what this is doing right here is they're addressing and reducing the price of gods for ruins. So it initially was 600 ruins, now it's 500. If by chance you purchase the god for 600 ruins, you will now get yourself refunded 100 ruins either today or tomorrow. And if you have not gotten this refund, please contact support. They are more than willing to help you and assist you in this problem. So now we're going to go into the god balance changes right now, and we're going to start off with Amaterasu. Now this is an overall nerf for her, which I think she needed because a lot of people were struggling with her or just winning matches for no reason. So they stated here that Amaterasu is currently overperforming when successfully performing fast combos, killing players with low damage percentages. The goal of our changes is to diminish the amount of damage that she is able to do, as well as delaying her ability to kill with the ultimate. Now, I do understand her ultimate is very powerful, but at the same time, if you're going against her currently right now in the game, you literally have to be aware to kind of bait that out or kill her before she's able to catch you in that. That's the only way really to kill her, when her ultimate is there. Now, going up with her talents, the Way of the Blade is reduced extra damage to 1, it used to be 2. Now her other talent called Out of Here, second air light damage reduced to 4, knockback reduced to 10. Initially it was 5 damage and 15% knockback. Switching Strike, this is another talent. The extra damage is reduced to 5 when it was 8, and this right now is disabled until the next major update, which is pretty interesting for Amaterasu. Now, we're going on to the next character here, which is Athena. I personally believe Athena doesn't really need a buff or a nerf. She's perfectly well balanced in my opinion, able to deal with every character in the game once you get your skill set high enough. But they thought Athena's apparently is currently too punishing at low levels. Okay, that's fair, and reduced the damage of successful parries to 15 from 20. Alright, nothing much, which is good because overall, as I said, she is a great character. Next up here we have Izanami. They stated that we're balancing the amount of damage that Izanami can do, especially when not successfully hitting all of her combos. So, Seeking Sickle reduced damage to 8 on each hit instead of 10. Talent, Slicing Sickle, reduces to damage to 3 when it was 5, and the next talent, Ambush, reduced to 10% ultimate when it was 15. Okay, so a small light nerf, which is not too bad. Then we have Sol. Sol is such an amazing character. So they stated that Sol is proposing a unique playstyle, but values all around were not in line with the rest of the characters. So We will revisit in a later patch to see how players are using her kit. Now the values are balanced compared to the rest of the roster. Now I want to say Sol is basically used as a mage, so she is different from the rest of the characters. She's not going up in people's faces. She's used to kite around, use her abilities, and cast when necessary to knock people out with her spells. So as you can see here, they have Desperate, increased damage to 10 when it was 6. For Fireball, increased damage on impact to 15 was 10, and Combustion increased damage to 12 when it was 10. Now this overall is a nice little buff for her, but as I said, they will check how it goes over time and then implement a real balance. Now that's good. I think she needed that little buff just enough because she does struggle against certain characters because a lot of people don't understand how to play her. So let's continue on here. Okay, so the next character we are going to be talking about is Susuno. Now I understand that the community has been talking about him being very overpowered. Now in my opinion, yes, I have learned how to deal with a Susuno. They can be very overbearing, but it can be dealt with. But I do believe it did need a nerf for one simple reason. For a lot of new players out there, he is extremely overpowered and he can literally win a match without your enemy being able to do anything. So let's see what they stated. They stated that Susuno's playstyle is still something that we want in game, but his kit was overall way too effective. So what they did for his air light attacks is they reduced the damage to 7 when it used to be 9. Note, tooltip in-game said 11. This was an error, so it was 9, now it's going to be 7. His air light into air heavy is now a true combo, which is going to be very interesting. Also for his updraft, reduced damage to 10, instead it used to be 12. Now for Storm Katana, reduced the damage of the first hit to 5, it was 10. That right there is a big difference. We also have here for his talent called Send Off, reducing the damage to 4 when it was 7. So this is a very heavy nerf for Susuno right now. We're gonna see how it goes and let's see what happens in the later coming days if they'll have to adjust. Okay, so for the rest of these patch notes right here, it's just upcoming changes, and one of the biggest changes is going to be the release of Zeus. I'm super happy for this. Obviously, if you knew from last week's live stream, you knew he was coming. If you didn't, well, guess what? Zeus is coming, and he's coming with an awesome new cyber themed skin. Now, if you want to know his abilities, you can read it here, or you can check out my video on it, and you'll get to see all his abilities displayed on screen, and it's really awesome. So I will leave all the links to these things in the description down below. So we're going to finish off here with last minute god balance changes. So they wanted to change Sunlit Uppercut for Amaterasu. So the startup time is changed from 0.25 seconds. It used to be 0.2 seconds. Also, they made a bug fix. So made sure Uppercut is sending opponents forward. Interesting choice. I didn't even realize that was a problem. Now for Arthur. So for King Arthur himself, they did this right here. So for Soaring Edge, increased wave/projectile speed by 10%. I think that's pretty interesting. And for Might of Excalibur, increased duration to 13 seconds. It was 11. Now, I'll tell you right now, I think that's pretty good because it was easy to kite around King Arthur with his Excalibur. Who knows? Those last seconds might be just enough to catch your opponent off. He also now hits, now dealing 50% increased damage. It used to be 30. I think that's fair because he's very easy to counter with his ultimate. Now for Athena, her air heavy attacks reduced post fire to 0.55 seconds. It used to be 1.1 seconds. And then we have Hercules here himself, Hercules the strong man. So Berserker Rage reduced knockback of your third hit by 17.5%. Wow, that is actually really significant right there. And for his talent, Look Up, reduced damage to 10. It used to be 12. Next up, we have Izanami. Now, with her ability Fade, reduces stealth time to 3 seconds instead of 4. Now, I think this is necessary. I thought she was invisible for way too long. I'll be 100% honest with you. Okay, so the next up is Sol. Preheated ultimate charge on game start reduced to 50% instead of 20. And this by itself is a talent. Now, for bug fixes, fixed a bug on Combustion with being able to put the ability on half cooldown if dodged just as the explosion occurs. Wow, that's actually a pretty interesting bug for Sol. I didn't even know that was going on. I probably would have taken advantage of that. Okay, so we're going on here to Susuno next. For his air light attacks, he's going to have air light into air heavy, as I said earlier, is now a true combo. For Storm Katana, reduced time allowed between firing hits to 3.25 seconds. It used to be 4 seconds. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's going to be an interesting change to see how it is. Now, this right here is my favorite part of the video. And obviously my favorite part is going to be the buff that's coming to my favorite character, Thor. Thor is currently one of the best characters in the game. I make a lot of videos on him because he's so great to play. Now, they stated that Thor clearly needed quality of life changes to his whirlwind in order to compete against other characters. Also, his hold heavy's range was not in line with the rest of the characters. We're looking forward to see how these changes will perform. Me personally, I think the distance needed to be increased. So for his hold heavy, the warp distance is increased to 4 meters, which I fully agree with. It might need to be increased to 5, but we'll see how this goes, or at least 4.5, but it definitely needed an increase. Now, for his Anvil of Dawn, the increased radius is now 10%. For Mjolnir's attunement, allow Thor to dodge out of the ability and allow jump during the ability. Base speed increased from 30% to 40%. That is awesome. And for his talent, Spinning Spree reduces movement speed bonus from 25% to 15%. I mean, okay, that's fair enough. It really doesn't do too much. At least that's in my opinion. Okay, so the next character we're going on here is Yamir, and you guys know I love Yamir. So what they stated about Yamir is Yamir's hold heavy was always intended to be longer range than the rest of his cast, which is pretty interesting. I could see that. But this was way too surprising for players entering the matchup. The main change is for Frost Breath. Currently, Yamir can counter all attacks with this ability while he has his super armor, meaning he would not take the damage. We're making the change so that players can still inflict damage via attacks when Yamir is using Frost Breath. Now that right there is going to be very, very interesting indeed. So we're going to cover the rest right now. So for his hold heavy, the warp distance reduced to 2.5 meters. Interesting. For Frost Breath, reduced frozen time to 2.5 seconds. It was 3. The ability can no longer be countered. That is truly interesting. Now, I don't know how I feel about that as a Ymir player myself, but we'll see how it occurs in game and how I really feel about it by testing it out. I think they may need to revert that. Now, for his talents, Frostbite, reduced damage to 6 per crater. It was 8. Cap the amount of crater per wall to a maximum of 2. It used to be infinity. This is fair. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty overpowered. This is fair. But the Frost Breath, I don't know how I agree with that, but we'll see. All right, guys, this is all the changes coming or implemented in the game right now. Please leave a like on this video, leave a comment down below letting me know what is your favorite character and was your character talked about in this, and are you excited for Zeus? And I will see you guys next time. Bye.